Hey guys, it's Carolina here from KarolinasKrafts and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys what I made using the rest of the larger scraps that I had left from this paper pad. And I want to say maybe like, I don't know, maybe a full-size sheet at this point when I made this project, and then like some larger scraps. But I used up the larger scraps. I mean, I still have my work cut out in front of me because I still have, and then listen guys, I found this after I finished my whole entire project. I found it under like other piles of paper when I was cleaning up, and I was like, really? There we go, we got another bigger scrap. But other than that, it is like these smaller scraps and things like that, which I do still want to make something with this, so I will definitely still be working on something with those scraps. But at this point, that is what I have left. No more full-size sheets. This is my biggest scrap because I literally just found it. But I want to share with you guys what I made because it is like the chunkiest junk journal I have ever made, and it's just the funnest, and I love it so much, you guys. So I'm going to share with you guys what it looks like, and it's so adorable. I love it. Okay, so this junk journal, like I said, I was just using up my scraps to make it. It's got a beautiful seam binding closure here, which you guys know I get all my seam binding from my scrap cabin shop. And if you guys want to get anything from her shop, you guys could use the code Carolina10 for 10% off your order. I'll have her shop linked down below. But I used it here. You could see there's some peeking out at the top. I used it at the top as well. So when you open this up, and I want to say that this measures 4 1/4, no, I think like 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. Okay, so that's just wrapped around a bunch of times. You have beautiful like seam binding. I love this, you guys. I added in Teflon. I made that like my spine. Teflon, is it Teflon? No, not Teflon. Tyvek here, you guys, just because I didn't want like the spine to rip. I knew this was gonna get chunky with all that I wanted to add to it as I was like making it, so I decided to make a Tyvek spine which does not rip, and I just kind of like sewed it on there. Did I show you the back? So the back looks just like that also. Okay, so then you open this up and it looks like this. Oh, and you guys, I don't know if you guys remember last month, I had made some scrappy projects and like little embellishments. I used some of those in here, and I will point them out because they came in so handy, you guys. Like, yes, which is why I want to use the rest of these scraps and just like stash them away. I loved having them on hand to just like add to my project. It made it so fun, made it even more interactive and beautiful, and I just really loved it. So one of those elements was this thing. This is from that Bunnies and Blooms paper collection that I was playing with last month, and I had turned it into like a little envelope, added in this little cutie patootie. I don't know what you're gonna write on here, but it's cute. You could just write I love you. I don't know. You could probably write like a little phrase that somebody says. You know, I don't know what you want to put in here, but it's just so stinking cute. And on top of that, I had left like this open so you can still glue a photo behind that and whatnot, and then glue it down. I had turned this cover page into a pocket page, and I used some leftover like shimmer cardstock I had. It's beautiful. It's like a shimmery kind of cardstock. So I just turned that into a tag, added a little eyelet and the seam binding. I double matted it too so it would be sturdier. And I just have that living in that front cover right there. Then this piece, I had this scrap, but it wasn't like as long as I wanted it to be. So then I added another scrap, but I glued it down just on 3 sides and turned that into like a pocket. And that worked out really well. Like, it's supposed to be a junk journal, right? You're supposed to be able to use up these scraps. And guys, I did so much more in this one than I have ever done before, and like so many different like ideas and stuff. Like, I have never done that before. I never thought to add like another little scrap and glue it down on 3 sides to turn it into like a little pocket. But inside there I have this cut apart and then this one that says enjoy. And I just have cut aparts from my stash that I added in here. And yeah, this sticks out, but I love it like that. I think it's so cute. And then on the back here, I added this butterfly. I made that last month. This is using a Scrap Diva die set. So that is using the butterfly set from Scrap Diva Designs, and you get the butterflies in 4 different sizes. Which size did I use? I want to say I used the second smallest size, but you get 4 different sizes, so you could add them to whatever. And I did mine, I have 3 layers here. So the bottom layer is 110 pound cardstock, then I just have like this coral, and then this beautiful like shimmer cardstock, and then I did a gold on top. But yeah, it just adds a little bit of dimension, but it's not like too bulky at the same time. And I just think it's really, really cute. And I like just having embellishments on hand, you guys. Like, that was honestly the best thing as I was making this. And that's actually why I started making embellishments, because I know they're just going to be easier for me to use. And at the same time, it allows me to use up my scraps, you guys. I love that feeling of using up every single like scrap at the end, and having all these embellishments made. I mean, yes, it's tiring and it takes a lot of time to use up your like itty bitty scraps and figure out what you're making with those. But once you have like those embellishments made, like I love it, you guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. So then I added in this vellum piece I had in my stash. It's also like flowers. I've got this book page, and you guys can add photos to any of these, add journaling spots or whatever. Then I have this handmade blue dyed paper that I made, along with some word dies from Scrap Diva Designs. Okay, these are some of the word dies from Scrap Diva Designs. She has 2 Easter word die sets, so they're Easter Words 1 and Easter Words 2. So Easter Words 1 is where I use the word spring. It also has the words chocolate, egg, happy Easter, garden, candy, and hunt. So that's Easter Words 1. And you guys, I love using these word dies. I mean, I love having them on hand. I like making them. I like having them on hand and then being able to use them. But what I love about them the most is that I get to use scraps of cardstock, you guys. Scraps of solid cardstock, my scraps of gold cardstock. I always have strips of gold when I craft with gold foil paper, you know? So it's a great way to use some of that up. And then the Easter Words number 2 has the words Jesus, Christ, peeps, family, celebrate, flowers, and greetings. So you have those available options there. And of course, you guys could use the code Carolina for 10% off your order if you guys are looking to get anything from Scrap Diva Design. So I know that code is different from my Scrap Cabin shop, so just check the description box down below as well if you are looking to purchase like from both, so you guys know which code to use. This tab I also made last month using up some of my scraps, and that's using like a little teeny die set, and I just added a cute little tab there. This page is from the collection. I added in this like furry trim. At first I was like, I don't think furry trim really goes with like a spring themed collection, but it just feels like a bunny, and it's just so soft. I love it. So I just had to include it there. This is another thing that I made last month using up some of the Bunnies and Blooms scraps. So it says I love spring. It's a cute little mini file folder, and I will link the video down below where I shared with you guys a lot of the scrappy embellishments that I made. But I have that little cut apart. I added this little like pink dyed paper piece, and then this little like index card. So there's just additional writing space there as well. And then I've got this tulle paper clip, and I do have a tutorial on how I make the tulle paper clips, which will be linked down below. Then here, so this is another thing that I made. This didn't make it to my scrappy embellishments video, but I shared it on Instagram, where then I used some strips of paper and some like book pages or whatever, and then just added stickers, and I just made little like cluster embellishments. So I was able to use, I think, 3 in this whole entire journal out of 4 that I made. I actually got to use up a lot of like embellishments that I made last month, which was great. So here's like what the cluster embellishments kind of looked like. I either thought of using this as like a pocket or a belly band, but in this case I turned it into a pocket. And then I had vertical ones that I did use in here as well, which you guys are going to see. And you guys can see I still have more little file folders I can add to projects and things like that. Like I love these. They're so fun. I've got more like dangle paper clips and stuff. It was just so fun, you guys, to be able to like make those and have a stash ready to go. So highly encourage you guys to get some like little dies that you guys can use to make some scrappy projects. So anyway, I made that little cluster embellishment there, glued it down on 3 sides, and now it became a pocket, and it holds this tag that I have. This is just a tag that I had in my stash. I have like a stash of tags that I have made with like scraps of paper, and that one just kind of fit here. So I used it. Then I used another die set from Scrap Diva Designs, her Tulip Shaker mini album die set. And you guys have seen me craft with this a couple of times now. I have made a shaker card, and then I made like an album, and now I used it in my junk journal as a page. And I just love how this turned out, you guys. And you could add a photo on top of it. You could do some journaling on top of there. And it's just like a fun shaped page in my junk journal. And I had originally wanted to turn this into a belly band, but it didn't work out here. However, you guys will see I did figure it out later on in this journal. So there was that little tulip page. Then this page I've added some other trim that I had in my stash, which was kind of fun. This is like trim that I've never used before, a lot of these, and I got to go through like my trim stash and see what I got and use them in here. So this is also like a page from a notebook from Dollar Tree with the orange like polka dot background. But I used it here, folded in a piece, and then covered that with some scraps of paper to make it more sturdy as a pocket, and just added this little like journal card in there as well that I had in my stash. Then here I turned this into a little folder, and I included it in here. And then on this side I made like a little booklet using orange dyed paper that I dyed. And I sewed the top there, so it's like a little flip book, and I glued it down on 3 sides, and I added this little tag in there. That's super duper cute. Another fun like journal space. And like I said, the back side is a folder because this is a folder. So there's that cut apart in there. You've got another book page. I just used another scrap here, decorated with a sticker I had in my stash, and added a cute little tag there. And that's on pink dyed paper that I dyed as well. Isn't this so fun, you guys? Then here we've got this page, and this was also just a page in my stash. And so I just thought it was fitting in here, and so I used it. Here, this was like a scrap I had left over, so I used it as a belly band. And this, you guys, this is the center from this tulip, okay? But I thought it looks like a raindrop, so I put the scraps that I had from it, and I just turned it into like a little booklet on a brad. So you could do some journaling on the back of that, on that pink page, and on the back of that. And it's just like a cute little like journal spot, but I thought it looks like a little raindrop, and it goes with my spring theme. So I included that there. I added this like little bag I had in my stash, and there's some goodies in there, some journal cards, cut aparts. And you could include these wherever else you want. You could also like add them onto like put them down with washi tape, or just score the half part of it, glue that half part down, and you have like another little flip up in your journal. So there's ways that you could use that in your journal, or just keep them in the pockets and add photos to the back, or journal on the back, or whatever. Here's some of that blue dyed paper I made with another fun trim from my stash that I've never used before. Another scrap here that I had, so I just turned it into another pocket. And then another cut apart I had in my stash, and it just says it's springtime, let's have fun. And I mean, you could have it on this side also, which is kind of fun, or just this side. I don't know, now I kind of like this side, and it's pretty, it's fun. I have this guest check paper that I threw in here. I have this calendar page from a planner last year that I didn't continue using after my school year was over. So I have a lot of blank pages. I mean, I have a lot of blank pages in it in general. So I took out all the written on pages that I did use for work. And now I just have blank pages that I could include in like fun journals like this. And I do want to make more. I love making I love making clean junk journals. I don't really like the vintagey, but I like making clean ones. They're a lot of fun. I just don't do them often enough, and I don't know why. But when I came down to scraps for this project, I was like, yes, we're gonna make a junk journal, and it was a lot of fun. Like, look at all these trims. Don't they just make you so happy just seeing those peeking out? Like, it's so fun. Okay, so here I've got another pink paper from a notebook, like a grid paper, and I folded in part of it, covered it with some patterned paper scraps that I had, and added in some little cut apart kind of things. So this one says life, and then you could journal on the back, and then you are my sunshine, and you could journal on the back of that one as well. And so I just have those in that pocket. Then here, so here's one of the pieces I made, one of the journal cluster, oh no, not the journal clusters, the embellishment clusters. And this one was a vertical one as opposed to that other one that I made, which was horizontal. So this was a vertical one that I made last month using up some scrappies, and it's just so cute. So I added it onto this pocket here, and I love it, you guys. I really, really do. I love it. I just want to make more. So I included some more journal cards there. This one says spring is here again, and you could journal on the back. And then you've got this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday kind of thing. Especially if you're maybe going on a trip or something, you have like itinerary planned out of what you're doing. You could write it down on there. You've got that calendar kind of page, but you could just write on this. Like, you don't have to use the dates for anything. You could just write on it. Look, I got another embellishment cluster that I made, and this one, so this one I just glued down as like a little embellishment on this pocket. This one I glued down on 3 sides and turned that into like a little tuck spot. So I added a little tag behind there. So not only is it like a beautiful embellishment, but it also is a tuck spot. And now that I actually know that I will use these once I make them, now I want to make more. So I had only made 4 at first because, yeah, they look pretty, but I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to use these. And now that I know that I will, I want to make more with my scraps. So maybe as I'm making scraps with the leftover paper from this collection, maybe I'll make some more cluster embellishments. But it gets hard because like the Bunnies and Blooms collection had stickers that I could add. The paper pads do not, so I don't know. We'll see. Here's some more blue dyed paper, and I added that fun pom-pom trim. Here's the other side. Wait a second. Did we skip over the middle? Did I skip a page here? I skipped a page. So after this was this, you guys. That is the center of my journal here. So I missed that page. Okay. Okay, so here's the other side of that little treat bag. And inside you've got some more like journal cards in there. And you also have this little pocket on the cover that I just used another scrap and added a little tag in there. And you could obviously like journal on the back or add a photo. Then here I used one of those embellished paper clips that I also made last month. And it has cute little dangles, so it's ready for me to use already. Already embellished. So it's just like so great having these on hand already because it was just so easy to like grab and use them. So I just have that little journal card paper clipped on here with that embellishment I had already made. So if you guys haven't seen that video of me making all those embellishments, like definitely check it out because it was so great to have like a stash of those embellishments already made. Then here I just have another fun little trim, little tassels, another book page. Here's the other side of that folder, and we've got another little like journal space in there. And then I made a little tuck spot, and you could write like a date or whatever on there. And then I have this 4x6 card that I folded, and that just lives in that little tuck spot. Another pocket here. So you've got some more journal space. And then here, this is what I had wanted to do on the other side, is turn it into a belly band. But what I realized is in order to turn it into a belly band, I couldn't just use the gold foil paper. I had to mat that gold layer onto like a 110-pound cardstock to make it sturdy, so that I would be able to use it as a belly band. So all I did when I did that layer is I glued down the outside. I did not glue down these 2 layers. And so I made this little booklet that says "You Are a Gift" out of some scrap craft cardstock I had, and turned it into like a little booklet, and now in this little belly band. And isn't that so fun? I love that feature, you guys. I love it, love it, love it. So that was so fun to do. That's what I had, like I said, intended to do on the other side, but I didn't figure it out on this side because I had already glued it down. Like at first I had glued down the outside, and then I tried to use it as a belly band, and I was like, no, that's not going to work. It's too flimsy. So I had to glue down those pieces as well. But then this side, I was like, let me try putting it onto like a 110-pound cardstock. So that's what I did. And I did it on 110-pound pink cardstock, which is where that other pink scrap in here came from. So see, I just used my scraps in here as well as I was like making stuff. It was so fun. And by the way, you guys, this is available in my Etsy shop in case you guys are interested in purchasing this journal. So fun, so full of goodies and tuck spots and fun elements. Here we have orange dyed paper that I made, this little book page with another pocket and a little card, and it's white on the back so you could journal on that as well. More journal space. Here's another page from the collection I was using, and then I included this little bucket list in here. So if you have like a spring bucket list of things you want to do, plant a garden, I don't know, pick blueberries, that might be summer, but you get the idea, you guys. Go to the lavender fields. I don't know, what else do you do in spring? But you could do a little bucket list. And you know what? This would be a great Mother's Day gift as well, because they can just kind of document their Mother's Day, or just their spring in general, but maybe they have photos with family they want to include in here. So super fun gift idea as well. And I love like the different sizes of pages and everything. I really love this journal. I really love how it turned out. So here I've got this blue dyed paper with this butterfly, and I just used a scrap from that pink paper that I used earlier, and I just included it in here. So you could just do some more journaling right there. Then here is a little folder that I made using another scrap piece. And this I also share with you guys how I did in my scrappy embellishments video. However, this is using this collection, but I did, in my scrappy embellishments video with the dog theme, I share how to do these folders. So I made another one here, and I will be making more for sure. And I have like embellishment packs now in my Etsy shop because they're so fun to make, you guys, and I love it, and I love using them. And yeah, I hope you guys do too. And I know I don't normally make junk journals, but I hope you guys like this enough to like watch and want to see more junk journals on my channel, because it's not something that comes by often. But anyway, so I have this little card in there that says "Be Wild and Free," and you could journal on the back. And then behind that whole entire pocket, like library pocket, I added this in the back, and it says "Favorite Things." And the ones that I did in my joggy themed embellishment video where I made these folders, I did make little library cards to go inside them. This one I just used to cut apart, but the other ones have like actual little like library cards, which are so cute. Here I have a book page that flips out. So I have that paper clipped, and this little like flips out. I had another like scrap that I wanted to use because it had these little birds and the flowers. So I just glued it down on this folded piece on like 3 sides, and then I made this into another little like tuck spot right there. So you've got another little tag there. Then you've got the vellum piece. Then this page, I had this like cut apart in my stash, and I made another little booklet using up some little scraps of the orange dyed paper. And so there's that. And then you could have more journal space or photo space. And then back here, I made a pocket, and I made the pocket using this hexagon double stitch die set from Scrap Diva. And so that's where you get this little like shape from. I did cover up this side of it, but all I did was use the hexagon part to make that little pocket shape, which is something I mentioned when I shared this in like a haul video. I shared that you could use that to make pockets. So I wanted to use it to make a pocket and share with you guys what it looks like. So that is like what it would look like. I mean, depending on the size hexagon that you use, you could have like smaller here or whatever, depending on the size die that you use and whatnot. But yeah, so I used that. And actually, I'm realizing that I also used some scraps from the Floral Couture paper pad that I have on my desk from Die Cuts with a View. So that piece is from that, and so is the whole entire tulip. This whole thing is from that other paper pad as well that I've been trying to use up, but it's been on my desk. And so I guess I used it because I needed some more paper to go in here. So this is that paper pad I'm talking about. I do have some more. I have like 3-4 full-size sheets left, a half sheet. And so yeah, it's this paper pad that I'm also working through, and I need to finish up using those larger sheets so then I could use the scraps and turn them into like fun things. But yeah, so here I made that little pocket, added a trim. I've got some cut aparts in here as well. And then I also included this tag that I matted onto like a ivory kind of cardstock and added some seam binding. And then that back page is also like a little pocket page for a large tag there. So that is what this journal looks like, you guys. Isn't it so fun? I love it so much. I hope you guys love it too. Lots of fun embellishments and tuck spots and elements and all the fun things in here. Honestly, this was like so fun to make, and it's nice and chunky, and I just love it so much. It looks super duper cute. So yeah, that is that journal, you guys. And like I said, it is available in my Etsy shop in case you guys are interested in purchasing it. And I'll have all the links to all the things that I used that I mentioned, like the seam binding, as well as the die sets that I used in here. And like I said, there will be coupon codes linked down below in case you guys would like to get some too. And yeah, so just so much fun. Hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys in my next crafty video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.